Hello, guys and gals, me Mudahar, and welcome to another episode of Deep Web Browsing, Dank Web Browsing, Dark Web Browsing, the part where we take a chill look at the side of the internet that is a little too danker for regular viewing. Now, it's currently like 3 in the morning, ladies and gentlemen, got the little creepy vibe going across, hopefully not, but I figured with the random websites as always, let's capstone our week and actually go to the very first one. That has to be like my fastest introduction ever, ladies and gentlemen, but we come over here, ladies and gentlemen, to something called Tulpa. Now, for those of you who don't know what a Tulpa is, I don't know how many of you all frequent Tumblr, for instance, but the only time I've ever heard of a Tulpa is from Tumblr, and when I did creepypastas, there was one creepypasta specifically called Tulpa, which dealt with apparitions that you could, like, generate with your own, like, 2 hands. But they got a whole deep web website for some reason. I guess Tulpas are a very important aspect that we need to know about. So I figured let's look right into it. Now, they have a pretty awesome I can't even make any of this shit up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look into it. Tulpa is an entity created in the mind, acting independently of and parallel of your own consciousness. There's a word for that. It starts with S. Anyways, let's go into it. Have their own free will, emotions, and memories. In short, a Tulpa is like a sentient person living in your head. Oh, like fucking headmates, right? The headmate shit? Oh my god. Alright, let's go, dude. Let's figure this one out. So it's currently unproven whether or not tulpas are truly sentient. I think it's currently unproven whether or not they are in fact a thing. But in this, I know I come across like a bitch right now, but I don't know, dude. I guess call me old-fashioned, but you know what, Muda? Give this a chance. In this community, we treat them as such. It takes time for a tulpa to develop a convincing and complex personality. As they grow older, your attention and their life experiences will shape them into a person with their own hopes, dreams, and beliefs. You'll create a tulpa by imagining a person in your head and treating them as a person. The exact mechanism is unknown, but as you give a tulpa attention and believe it can be a sentient person, it will grow into one and act independently of you. That's what they call, what is that thing? Dual personalities or something like that? Split personality disorder? You know, when there was a movie that they showed us in, like, psychology, and psychology is great. If you're ever in college and you can have the chance to take any bullshit minor, psychology is one of them, because you see some pretty retarded shit sometimes. But I guess things put into perspective of how the human mind kind of works to an extent. It's not medical school psychology, but you get what I'm trying to say. There was this movie that they showed us called, like, Sybil, where, like, the girl, she has, like, split personality disorder, and she, like, switches characters. She has, like, 14, 15 characters in her head. If that's what you mean by tulpa, yeah, it's classified as an actual mental illness, and I don't think we should just treat it like it's a fucking headmate. Come on now. Jesus. A tulpa is never done, and you shouldn't be going for a finished tulpa when you make one. You should focus on nurturing and teaching your tulpa and allowing them to grow as a person with you, while at the same time you learn about yourself and grow as a person in return. So I guess it's kind of like a symbiotic relationship between the imaginary friend and you, and I guess you become better people. I mean, I'm all down with becoming a better person, but I don't think you need to create a headmate to be a fucking better person. But anyways, pretty much every tulpa has a form and imaginary body they identify with. This form can be anything from a regular human being to a cartoon character, an animal, or anything else you can imagine. So fucking, for example's sake, if I made a tulpa, I'll make it like Jex the Gecko or some bullshit like that. Bonus points if you know that game, by the way. But I guess it's kind of like that. You can interact with your tulpa by visualizing it in your mind. Most people do this in an imaginary setting called a wonderland, which is a persistent place you can imagine yourself and your tulpa to be in. You'll be able to change your wonderland at will and make it as normal or fantastical as you want. There are no limits. Many tulpas tend to spend their alone time in such a place, but it's not required at all to have a wonderland. Note that the form doesn't have to just be a visual image. The word is often used as umbrella terms for a tulpa's looks, voice, and their smells, the feeling of their skin, everything that you can sense in their imaginary form. Okay. I guess that comes down to your imaginary friend, I want to say. I don't know if that comes across as super offensive. But going around over here, well, it seems like that's not really available. But they've got other resources, right? So Tulpa over here is a willingly created, autonomous, and sentient being that coexists with you in your mind. Okay. In the tulpa community, tulpas are most often experienced as close, intimate companions and life partners. Ooh, saucy. They're one experience of plurality, which is a state of more than one identity coexisting in one mind. Other plural experiences include walk-ins, soul bonding, daemonism, fictives, I fucking knew it was headman, and dissociative identity disorder. Well, I mean, okay. How do tulpas relate to schizophrenia and dissociative identity disorder? Okay, tulpas are being related to mental illness is a persistent misconception, all right? A mental illness is something that causes harm or dysfunction, but every scientific study of tulpas has found that tulpas improve mental health and functioning. Tulpas neither cause mental illness or appear as a result of it. Okay. Schizophrenia is a condition with a genetic requirement. You fundamentally cannot give yourself schizophrenia. Interestingly, where tulpas cannot cause schizophrenia, they can help those suffering from it. Schizophrenias who make tulpas report greater ability to distinguish hallucination and reality. Ongoing research even suggests that turning one's psychotic voices hallucinations into an agent you can negotiate and converse with is an effective treatment of psychosis. You see, that I guess kind of makes sense, because if you ever, like, it's really fucking scary for those who suffer from, like, schizophrenia, like, especially catatonic schizophrenia and shit, is that in their heads they'll constantly go through like auditory visual hallucinations, and like you can't help it. Like schizophrenia is like, I want to say it's kind of like Tourette's of the mind, where you'll constantly be hearing shit, and it can be scary shit. I think it can be anything, right? And there's like simulators that you can put yourself through for people that go through schizophrenia, and it's some like fucking freaky shit. We might even do it in a video or something, because that sounds like an interesting video idea. But yeah, the thing with schizophrenia is that it's like actually freaky with how it like randomizes stuff in your mind, and like the stuff that you hear. It's freaky stuff. So in order to, I guess, combat that, creating like, what do I say, like a fucking vector or something, or like, I guess you could say a lightning rod, sort of, something you can visualize and converse with. That sounds like it could be a pretty effective treatment. So like, yeah, I'm not here to like shit on the whole tulpa community or anything. I really don't care. If you enjoy tulpas and you're not fucking killing anybody, then go for it. But, yeah, okay, that when you read that, yeah, it kind of serves as a way to help people with like schizophrenia or like DID or some stuff like that. But I don't know. At the same time, it's like it feels like it's a double-edged sword in both directions, because like, how do you know that creating like an imaginary character and residing within it so much isn't counter effective, right? Like it could go both ways. But anyways, yeah, the TLDR of tulpa creations, you have to have a let's work together towards a better life mindset. Okay, so be positive. Work towards being a positive influence to yourself. Picking a personality, forcing their essence, narrating, and then ghostwriting. I mean, I feel like if you are like truly all alone, and there are people that are all alone, then I think the idea of making a tulpa won't be so bad. I mean, it's one of those touchy subjects. Don't listen to what I say, man. I'm a fucking, the knowledge that I have in life is pretty much engineering. I'm not a fucking psychologist, so I don't know. If you want a tulpa, then go ask your psychiatrist about tulpa creation. For me though, I'm gonna back out of this, and I'm gonna hopefully find something that I'm not totally lost thinking about. Children's video games, demonic torment. Oh god, it's one of those Christy websites. Now look, I'm not here to shit talk religion or anything. Look, I don't care. Okay, if you believe in Jesus, God bless you. Okay, do what you want. I don't care. But I'm always glad when I'm looking at the fucking Christian Deliverance Ministry give an entire talk show about video games. Please, at some point, mention Fortnite or something over here. That would make me fucking cream. But somebody authored a book, Let Our Children Go. I truly believe that every parent should pick up a copy. Already you're trying to sell me something, and I don't appreciate it. It's cutting edge on evil influences and demonic harassment that is tormenting our children, alright? On the topic of video games, she states, recent studies found that playing violent video games is a way to rehearse violent behaviors, making it easier to bring that behavior into real life. If you practice shooting basketballs thousands of times, you get better at scoring. If you practice killing thousands of times, you get better at that as well. In the course of years to ministering to children, I have seen the effects playing out on their young lives. Yeah, any kid that touches a copy of Grand Theft Auto 5, apparently they're going to be robbing banks or some shit. Jesus Christ. All right, look, you know what? It's such a weird... Here's the thing. Are they totally wrong when they say it? Probably not. If you're somebody that has a weak mental constitution and you're playing something like GTA and in your head you're like, man, this is a great shooting simulator, seek help. I think you have to have a mental derangement to do that. But I don't know. 90% of the world, 95% of the world that plays video games doesn't end up blowing the fucking world up. Usually the 5% that do have chronic mental issues, right? And everyone brings up like the Columbine shooters or something, but like, dude, they were mentally fucked in the head. Whether Doom or Counter-Strike existed, whether Doom existed or not, they wouldn't have done it. They would have done what they've done. Same thing with like Virginia Tech, all right? Like I remember the news was like, oh, Counter-Strike, terror simulator. It's like, dude, the guy was unhinged. Whether Counter-Strike was a meme or not, the guy would have fucking done the same thing. So anyways, going down over here. I remember a worried mom's face one day when she brought her 8-year-old son into our office for help. He was highly intellectual but extremely violent. He was on many medications and was determined to stay by the door in order to run. I began to speak to him softly, and after a time he was intrigued. He intrigued me impressed me with his intelligence. As I conversed with him in front of his mom, I asked what his favorite video games was. All right, let's look at that. He began to give us the shock. Beyblade? Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Beyblade? Oh man, if you don't know what Beyblade is, it's like the anime show where people use like what are those like fucking tops? You know, the spinner tops? And they used to go like they used to put them in their like spinner like jacks or whatever, like stick the cord in and go, let it rip. And then that was the whole thing. And these things were like infused with fucking demons that were just destroying other tops. It was a battle of spinning tops. All right, that's what it was. Oh my god. Oh, that takes me back so much. I don't even remember what the big one. I think they had like a dragoon, all right, which is the white one, and they had some like green shit. Yeah, fuck, man. I feel old. Holy crap, I remember Beyblade. Okay, let's go here. Mother had innocently bought this game to keep him occupied, but she literally lays in my office floor in horror as she recounted the game's violence and demonic overtones. He clearly identified the game's players in terms of demons and Satan. I said perhaps that's not a good game to play. He instantly stood up, became violent, and started yelling at me in deep tones that no one would take him from that world. On other occasions, I've also asked my clients about a new game called... This is a fucking joke. Skylanders? Fucking Skylanders? Dude, I haven't heard that name since Irate fucking Gamer, dude. One was about to acquiesce to their son's begging, but at first thought to me, here's a part of what I found on the game's website. Skylanders must find the pieces, soul coins, which open up a character's highest upgrade combat move, to rebuild a fountain of light and save the universe. However, they've all been turned into toys, and blown to Earth. Players must find these toys and send them back to their world to fight the villains. They do this by placing a toy on the special portal that comes packaged with the game. This is an entry point video game targeted at the youngest players and is replete with new age jargon including portals, soul coins, and universal light. When I shared my finding with the clients that they were grateful, it only took me a few minutes to find this information online, but God's children are perishing for lack of knowledge, and they are being desensitized early to the demonic realm. Not all video games are harmful, of course, and I've only singled out a couple. There are many more. Well, bonus points for not either bringing Pokemon, Digimon, or... Jesus Christ. Alright, Beyblade and Skylanders. Your kids are going to go to hell if they play those games. It's what I've learned today. The player develops positive attitudes towards the use of violence, so this is what they said. It comes from video games. Player develops expectations that others will behave aggressively. The player assumes that others have similar attitudes of aggression. Comes to believe that violent solutions are effective and appropriate for solving problems. Develop a total disregard for societal norms, property rights, and even the general value of their lives. Dude, if somebody develops this, they have some problems that they need to sort out. You need to educate them, okay? It's not necessarily even the video game's fault at that point. You as a parent need to step up and tell your kid, Beyblade isn't fucking real, all right? Okay? If your kid starts to believe that, man, I'm going to become a Pokemon trainer one day, it's time to sit Billy down, look him right in the eye and say, hey, Billy, okay? Pikachu doesn't exist, all right? Bidoof doesn't exist either. Okay, there you go. All right, I just did your job for you, parents. Okay, if your kid gets too into Vice City, I don't know, why'd you buy your 8-year-old kid Vice City in the first place? And if they do, you sit down and be like, you know what happens to people like Tommy Vercetti, son? They get fucking shot up. That's what happens. It's not a fairy tale ending, okay? The game was based on Scarface. You want to know what happened to Tony Montana and Scarface? Guy got blown out. I know that's a spoiler alert, but Scarface has been out longer than I've been a fucking sperm at this point. Or was. So, yeah, there you go. Plot line spoiled. But yeah, it's a weird situation that I step into. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Bonus points for not mentioning Pokemon or Digimon, I guess, into it. But, Jesus Christ, dude. Deliverance ministry, I know that they mean well. I know that they do. But Christ, could you have found better examples than Skylanders or Beyblade? So, little Timmy, you can't play Beyblade anymore. Of course they're going to be pissy. It's the only fad back then. Wait 2 more weeks. Kids are going to be playing with fucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That's what happened with me. That's what happened with everyone. So, yeah, shit, ladies and gentlemen. Let's back out and go somewhere else. Oh man, UFO insight. Oh god damn, what a world that I live in. The zombie apocalypse, it's not real, right? Oh, every time. Well, at least it's different. Last time it was UFOs, ghosts, and like underground bases. So I'm glad zombies are a meme now. Most of us have heard the phrase the zombie apocalypse. I have as well, dude. I used to have a creepy dude in high school that wanted the zombie apocalypse to happen, and I'm like, dude, you're gonna die immediately. But anyways, usually in connection with a film or television series, for example, most of us, even those open to all manners of weird and wonderful phenomena, the notion of the lifeless bodies of the deceased rising from their graves lies somewhere between fiction and absolute nonsense. And while the traditional sense of our collective understanding of such a term it is, perhaps it's worth noting that according to the Collins Dictionary, someone might be described as a zombie or of being zombified if their face or behavior shows no feeling, understanding, or interest in what's going on. I actually agree with that, man. Like, there are some people that are so detached from life or so dead inside that, yeah, you know, they're actually zombies. I mean, they don't have, like, there's people who, like, genuinely just forget to think, I guess you could say. Like, they do become zombies, but, I mean, is it, you know, typically they eat your brain zombies? No, it's just, I'm fucking dead inside. With that in mind, it's perhaps surprising that many governments around the world have measures in place to deal with such an outbreak. Regardless of how they mask those measures, and many academics have researched and contributed several theories to the notion of zombies and an outbreak thereof. Where it might not be as it is portrayed in blockbuster movies, such an outbreak of zombies is something that at least has the potential to happen. Whether through esoteric knowledge or through the manipulation of modern medicine and insights into the human brain, if you subscribe to some of the conspiracy theories out there, a combination of both the zombie apocalypses can take on many forms. That I don't disagree with, man. I really don't disagree with zombies being a thing. I mean, you live in a world where, like, bioterrorist attacks could happen any fucking day. I'm not trying to scare anybody by any means, but, like, you know, you live in a world where, like, the worst can happen at any single moment. So, like, a zombie apocalypse, man, you know, while even if a zombie apocalypse doesn't happen per se, you know, the worst of biological issues could occur at any moment, right? So, again, I'm not trying to scare you, right? I'm not trying to fearmonger this or anything, but, like, yeah, I'm not here. It's definitely more real than aliens like probing us in the ass, I would find, at least in my opinion. But although most of us believe it's a hoax, a bizarre broadcast went out in the airways in Montana in 2013, perhaps looking at during an episode of the Steve Wilkos show. A bizarre emergency warning came across the screen. It would state, authorities have reported in your area that the bodies of the dead are rising from their graves and attacking the living. While it's hard to disagree that this particular incident was indeed a hoax, some trains of thought suggest it was a test run to gauge the public's reaction. No, you don't do that. Like, the government would never, and goes into the bizarre amount of detail. It speaks on how to isolate the threat from chicken zombies, symbiont-induced zombies, and evil magic. I don't believe they wrote evil magic zombies in a fucking military document. I would suck a billion dicks to read that by my own terms. Again, like the above emergency announcement, there are caveats of sorts of this official military document. It states that it is in place for training purposes only. Furthermore, the use of the word zombies is in place of a more realistic enemy. Aside from the obvious reasons of diplomatic relationships, they further state that this was done to avoid members of the public becoming confused when training drills go live, and so believing the training exercises are real events. This makes sense, right? When we look at some of the academics whose theories suggest creating zombies could be a very real process, it is perhaps reasonable, however paranoid, to ask that the US military knows something the general public doesn't. They probably do. I mean, they probably do. After all, it wouldn't be the first time that such authorities use the public as test subjects without their knowledge. Yeah, MK Ultra. It's fucked up. While the prospect is unlikely, especially even more sobering, that it wouldn't necessarily take an entire government to unleash such a virus on humanity, such an act in theory could be down to the actions of an individual. And in the world of access to grind, increased division, and on occasion warped perspective on society and its direction, it's perhaps even more unnerving to think that a scenario is not quite as unlikely as we think. This is scary, man. I don't. I miss the moments when we used to look at fucking 9/11 conspiracy theories. This is scary, dude. Like, it freaks me out knowing that, like, at any moment, like, even right now as I'm recording, a fucking zombie apocalypse could break out. And, I mean, the whole world's gone. You know what I mean? This could be my last fucking time on camera, and you wouldn't even be able to see it. That's chilling to think about. In a 2014 paper titled A Necrobiological Explanation for the Fermi Paradox, Kane argued that the reasons extraterrestrials haven't visited us on Earth is essentially they were zombies unable to leave whichever cosmic body they resided upon. That's a little bit of a stretch. You think that everyone's a zombie except us? Or maybe we're zombies and we're the apex zombies. I don't know, dude. That's a little interesting. But anyways, going down over here. He then would look at a number of multiple plagues and global illnesses that have overtaken the populations throughout history on Earth. This would indicate how quickly such a disease would spread and in turn the fatal consequences to a huge portion of the respective populations. Using something like the Drake equation, he then projected how many planets in our part of the cosmos would have had similar developments. He theorized, given probability of a race somewhere in the cosmos conquering space and managed to venture out, that they had an unfortunate timing of landing on a planet amid one outbreak or another. Then they could have fallen victim of such plague. Okay, even if they were space traveling, just because one space team lands on a planet and they become zombies wouldn't mean the rest of their fucking race becomes zombies too. But I don't know. I don't know, dude. It's it's a little far fetched. Zombies and the tribal root. Okay, that I remember from like when they showed the tribes in Africa or like Haiti, and they created they had a drug that could make you do what you wanted. The zombie drug. I remember that shit. I remember that wholeheartedly. With all the weird medical stuff that goes on nowadays, and all the people trying to play medical monopoly, you never know. But again, I'm not here to fearmonger you. Okay, listen to me. Listen to what Uncle Muda says. Okay, if the world ends, the world fucking ends. Just have a good day every day and be a good fucking person. Okay, who cares if the end is coming? The end comes no matter what. Have a good present. There you go. That's my feng shui. Fortune cookie attitude of the day. Let's go to the next website. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our deep web video of the week. It's coming in at 42 seconds long with a lovely, I guess you could say, iPhone, Android, mobile phone resolution. I always love these kind of videos. They always get me incredibly fucking moist just because I have the black bars everywhere. But you know what? This isn't a complaining about the black bar situation. I really don't care because frankly, I want to go into 42 seconds of what is at least appearing to me to be like one of those deep web art projects. So let's go, or like the vlogs. Remember those? Let's hit play and see what we got in here. So we're looking around into a home. Oh, God. Oh. So like a fucking... Oh. Oh, fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that, dude. Fuck that shit. No, 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 no. No, 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 not at all, not at all. Not happening, dude. Not fucking happening. So, all right. Now that actually, I believe I remember this from the, fuck, what is it? Yeah, the Ryan threat thing, exactly. So, for those of you who don't know, I actually just recalled this literally from this doll at the end, which is a total no, by the way. So basically, for those of you who don't know what the doll is over here, yeah, by the way, it like has this weird resolution shit where like fucking like. Anyway, so for those of you who don't know what this ARG kind of thing is that there's a great video done by Nightmare Expo, a good channel that covers a lot of this kind of shit. Called the Ryan thread, where somebody called Ryan on Twitter, I think it's like Lust for Love, add Lust for Love, I'm not sure, I'll leave a Twitter handle or something. This person basically live tweeted a fucking horror story, so we'll go through all of it real to begin with. So over here, they're like house sitting for like an animal, right? So they're looking around, and over here, there's supposed to be like some noise and shit. Now this house belongs to like some old person or whatever that doesn't have any other like connections or like child living over there. They go inside this fucking room, and by the way, I don't know why the lights are not on. I would keep the lights on hardcore. They go up all the way over here, and they report throughout the night there's like weird noises and shit, and like this doll around that like switches its head. So like there's one other video that's not part of this compilation, is one where like they show the doll sitting like this. Then they move the camera to like the right, and they turn around, and the doll's head is moved towards the other direction. So like, it's fucking weird. Like, this whole story played out, it went like super viral, and yeah, that's where it's from. So it's not like, I guess it's not a deep web art project, it's just your average ARG that played out, and or just a horror story. Twitter's great for that shit, live tweeting out a horror story. So yeah, nothing incredibly spooky over here, or maybe there is, you know, this might be a possessed doll, I'm not exactly sure, but that's what I recall from it. Again, if you want more information, actually look up the Ryan thread yourself, it's Add Lust for Love. Or you can go check out the Nightmare Expo video. He does a pretty good job covering it. But I'm going to back out of this. Interesting stuff indeed. It's fucking weird. This is gonna make me unsettled, dude. I can't really sleep at night knowing that I've seen this kind of... I need to watch some cat videos for sure after this, or play like Elite Dangerous. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, simple stuff. Weird indeed. But we're going to back out of this and go... Hopefully we come across like something funny, because this is fucking weird. So that whole question I kind of get with a lot of people who are like, Muda, how do you find them dank web websites and videos? Well, it comes through like 50 or 60 versions of websites like this. So this is Eyes Observe Zay or something like that. I guess it's just trying to be symmetrical, so to speaking, over here. But yeah, these guys basically hunt Tor for or any anonymized network for websites and videos and all that kind of good stuff, and they basically serve as, I guess you could say, like the Google or aggregator of the deep web. So if you want to find out, you know, websites, these are places where you definitely have to hit up. So let's go read into it. I definitely know the art of lip. That is to say, I tend to voice my opinion on many issues that tweak a nerve. Bottling that shit up isn't good for anyone, but the most frustrating times are when you have made yourself aware of the ways of the world. Yeah, only to find that most would rather not see things the way they are. Like, say, for instance, the one topic that is always brought up on Onion sites, anonymity. If you are here in Onion land, then you are probably already well aware of the prying eyes on every page you go to on the ClearNet. You've already been warned about enabling scripts, applets, Flash, but if you do know about these things and try to explain to others in oblivion, you are stuck with the unsettling feelings of knowing the dangers of ignorance is bliss. In fact, it scares me that the most basic and fundamental things are challenged always, by someone somewhere. Flat Earth theory is just about the stupidest fucking thing an individual can... Jesus Christ, what a savage. Fucking thing an individual can predict. And you find tons of shit if you look it up. Aside from the live ISS video stream that NASA makes available through YouTube and other sites, aside from the pictures from the first trip to the moon and every other fucking mission they went on, no, wait, not aside from that. See, that's the fucking problem. You can put these shitheads on a rocket to the fucking moon themselves, and they'd still be telling you it's an illusion. Anything to hold on to that last string of faith. Have faith, that is good. Just don't ignore blatant goddamn facts. Christ, dude. When they're looking you right in the face. But, you know, I think this was all just started to stir shit up. I see how many dummies would actually believe this bullshit. The answer, too fucking many, of course. I suppose there is no need to even care, right? I mean, what's the harm in doing it? What is the harm in doing it?
I didn't understand that.
Stop. Fucking Bixby lost her shit. She's like, I didn't understand what you were doing. Stop it. All right, piss off. I was freaked out for a second. But anyways, right over here. I suppose there's no need to even care, right? I mean, what the harm is doing it? Well, none yet, because luckily they're still a minority. Flat earthers are making their way into our government in most places. Luckily, therefore not making blasphemy-type laws and sentencing us all spherical earth believers to be burned at the stake. I guess for now I should just feel lucky that I am either smarter or just more open to hear the truth. But when you know from history that it is possible to be ruled by these useless cunts, then maybe you should be scared too. In fact, we are already almost there. This whole thing comes across somebody that isn't exactly too fond of the whole flat Earth meme, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what would give that fucking away, right? But I don't know. I'm feeling a distinct hatred for flat Earthists. But you know what? If you believe in the Earth being flat, by all means, go for it, man. I'm not gonna fucking judge you, at least to your face. About this site, although many of you have nothing to hide, we still protect our anonymity to show our support and do our part in order to help others protect that need it. Of course, when you enter a realm of complete anonymity, you are bound to see the worst of humanity more often. Absolutely, okay? But when you find places that offer a type of refuge from all that, in such a place, it helps to have a little hope back in the faith of humanity. Oddly enough, there are quite a few religious people spreading good wishes around too. Most trying to influence others in a positive manner. Some individuals are dedicated to a greater cause. Although many of us have nothing to hide, we still protect our anonymity to show our support and do our part to help protect others when they need it. Of course, when you enter a realm of complete anonymity, you are bound to see the worst of humanity more often, but when you find places that offer a refuge from all that shit, it's such a place that helps to give a little hope back to our faith in humanity. Oddly enough, there are still a few religious people spreading good wishes around too. Most try to influence others in a positive manner. Some individuals are dedicated to a greater cause, helping to put on an agenda-free news source. Some people just want to share music and other media, since the international crackdown on torrents, of course, in geo-block countries, yeah. Even India is banning adult videos from what I hear, man, so, if you live in a uncensored country, feel happy. Scripting. I'm loving it so far. Bash is the cat's ass, whatever the fuck that means. I'm so glad I got off to that Windows shit. And even though Mac OS is Unix based, you won't catch me ever using that either, man. Nobody on the internet ever really likes Mac, dude. I feel bad for my Mac OS viewers, man. You guys just get yeeted on every day. Not that I have an issue with Mac at all. I mean, I don't prefer it either, but like, Christ, man, some people just hate Apple. Christ. Anyways, so going around over here, they use Tails. So yeah, I mean, that's what I hear from everybody. It's like, yeah, just go use Tails. Tails is great. You know, you won't ever have your hentai tracked using Tails, right? Well, by all means, go for it. Scripting. Shit. I get off topics easy. Trolls feel at home. Unless you're just an idiot that posts shits like, totally, I agree, you suck, and what? Is that like a sad face penis? Well, okay. The last one is kind of funny, yeah. Dicks are truly hilarious. Scripting. Jesus, I'm bad at that. Bash. I like Bash so far. You can do some pretty amazing shit with a very short line. Sometimes, I know you need apps installed already, but for most things, everything has some dependencies, right? Okay, so this is where just like straight talking about like running bash scripts. I don't really care. All right, let's go down over here. I've created a link of lists that are useful, whatever. Navigating the deep dark web is a bit of a challenge at times, and ClearNet is tough to avoid since so many useful things are hosted there and are detrimental to some Tor users. YouTube and MP4 was a great example of that. Why? JavaScript is generally a bad idea and YouTube requires it. YouTube and MP4 required Node.js, and all you needed was a link, and then you could download the file. See? Tough to avoid ClearNet. It's like I'd like everyone to use Tor, but that means there needs to be more sites to see too. This place isn't just for bad guys. It's for everyone in an important role in worldwide free speech. I fucking wish the mainstream media had this perception of the deep web or dark web, because you watch those really dumb movies like Unfriended or something, and like people come out of the theaters and it's like, oh man, dude, well you touch Tor, dude, you're gonna get fucking molested by like the Nazis, and it's like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, this is exactly the kind of thought process you have to have. Like, bro, it's not bad. There are bad people on there. There's bad people everywhere in the world, dude. Bad people spread, like, dirty stuff, even on the ClearNet. It's just a matter of how, I guess, intelligent you are with that shit. So, when you're on Tor, it's not necessarily a safe zone, but at the same time, it's not a zone where you're gonna get stabbed. Dude, I made, like, hundreds of fucking episodes. Almost, well, I can't say hundreds, but I've made plenty of episodes, okay? I haven't been killed. I haven't been, like, maimed or destroyed yet. Yet. But, you know, if I could make it this far, I'm sure most other people can. Most people can. You just got to be careful, dude. It's like using any part of the internet. Would you go on a random forum you just joined with, like, an ID that you use all the time and like your actual location address, like paste it right in there. No, you wouldn't. Same thing on here. That's how you stay safe on the internet, dude. You can get doxxed and tracked by doing stupid shit, no matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you connect to Tor once or twice. It's not going to be the death of you. It's just how your net intelligence can really be. So like even on the side of it, you can see like pages over here. Like you can go to the Nightmares art page. For video, you can see deep web radio, unlisted videos, all that kind of stuff. Places that we've already been before where they show like unlisted YouTube videos and all that good stuff. Files, like the Pirate Bay, for instance, and torrent scans and all that. Puzzle pages, so if you want to play a puzzle, you absolutely can. It's fucking weird, dude. I'll look at that later. But search, all that good stuff. So yeah, basically these are just links to random websites anyways, but I think I spent too long on eyes. So if you want to get an example of like where to browse on the deep web, this is, I guess, as simple as I can put it. But that being said, let's go somewhere else. Ooh, hackers of world freedoms. Oh my. Okay, so I always love coming across a hacker group because usually when they have a purpose, that's when it gets truly meme-tacular. But these are the hackers of world freedom, and they've got the 90s webpage design to show. Freedom of information has to be a guaranteed right. We fight for the world of free information. All right. Anytime you see the word "fight for the world," it's I see the Guy Fawkes masks kicking crazy. Look, I'm not trying to be a bitch here. I think the idea of it is generally cool and everything, but I've seen so many of these hacker groups that I feel like it's like the Hitman sites again, you know what I mean? Like a different coat of paint, but effectively the same message. So we are hackers, have the power to go beyond technology. Try and improve it. Help make it better for all people before it falls into the wrong hands. I think hacker's a pretty umbrella term too. There's good and bad hackers. But yeah, even so, organizations depend on us to develop their activity. We are the ones who monitor the network. And if we find something that we do not like, we can denounce it, attack it, publish its data, and expose the perpetrators. Sounds pretty aggressive, don't you think? While ethics is in the first place, because we can play for good or evil, we choose to do good and evil towards those who do evil. So these guys are what we call, I guess, white hat hackers. They believe in spreading good. But I don't know. I guess they're black hat if they want to be, you know, at the same time, because they do evil things towards evil people. So I guess if you're a bad person, then they'll probably dox you, leak your information out, or send your proof out to the federal authorities. But if you're a good person, then they'll assist you and all that kind of stuff. So it's just it's a morally lawful. It's a lawful organization about us. We have the power to change things and try to change them for the better. Well, just as journalism is the fourth power, we are the five power. The power of intelligent people who use the technology in favor of people. Okay, so they are the five power. What is it, the Fantastic fucking Five? It's not even a thing. Our mission: help people understand darknets. All right, that's good. I totally back you if you're helping people understand it. How they work and the benefits they offer. Assess privacy and anonymity in communications. I also support that too. We identify ourselves as hacktivists and journalists. We collaborate with other hacktivist groups, and we can continue to make this a better world together. So like they have a page. All right, there's like nothing else to the page, but like I guess their manifesto. And if you go to like the page source, that's all it is. There's like nothing else. There's like no breadcrumb trail to follow. That's all we essentially go to. So this is the hackers of world freedom. Now, normally with like this page, there could be like a recruitment or like, you know, here's what we've done. No, it's just the hackers of fucking world freedom. Now, granted, this might be a fresh new page, but still, I want to know what they're up to in today's day and age. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to back out of this. And we're actually going to bookmark this. If this does get updated or they mention us in some way, we're going to be there to check it out for sure. But for now, that is the hackers of world freedom. And if you want to fight for good, then go for it. I don't endorse hacking, by the way. That is highly illicit. I'm just going to back out of that right there. But do the right thing, follow the right world, and I don't know, something of that sort. But here's what Muda is going to do. He's going to back out and go somewhere else. And ladies and gentlemen, that was another episode of Deep Web Browsing, Dark Web Browsing, Dank Web Browsing, the part of the week where we take a look at the danker side of the internet. This week we've seen Weird, weird stuff. I would wager to say that we've seen things related to zombies. We have seen things related to zombies. Beyblade being part of the devil, and in fact, a devil-like video that has been showcased. Part of a compilation of a pretty spooky and interesting art. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave this right where it's at. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode of Deep Web Browsing. I don't know, I kind of like the edgier lighting over here. It's a little more calmer. But let me know what you thought about it. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just like if you dislike it, I am